Hello, good day sir. So in this video, we are going to present to you the IT BPM Operations Management Fundamentals of Business Process Outsourcing 101. So before we are going to present the report sir, allow us to introduce ourselves. I'm Jan Emmanuel Santacera.
This is Alexis E. Santos.
Kami Villegas.
So here is the topical overview. Operation Management, Components of Operations Management, and Process Mapping. Module Learning Objectives. Define what is Operations Management. Explain the value or importance of Operation Management. Enumerate and discuss the components of Operation Management. Identify process mapping and notation shapes. Explain the value of or importance of process mapping, and be able to satisfactorily map processes. Overview. Here are the list of the overview. And next, here are the topics that we are going to report to you, sir. 6 components. Performance management, metrics and reporting, professional development, quality monitoring and analyzing, productivity monitoring and control, continuous improvement initiatives. So here is the performance management. As you can see, performance management is a systematic process by which an organization involves its employees. So it means performance management deals with how certain group of people function in the same objective. Employee performance management includes planning work and setting expectations. Planning is an important part of the management to ensure an organized framework of the future process or conduct. Next is monitoring. Continually monitoring performance. Monitoring or observing. You look for the strongest and weakest point of the conduct to determine where to be confident about or to improve more. In that case, that was the time we do developing the capacity to perform. Developing in this part, we perhaps maintain the consistency of the quality work we have already. Yet, at most concern for those who have lacks is to improve the quality of work by means of recommending or conducting further training and the likes. And periodically rating. Performance in summary fashion. Rating to have the level where the capacity went on either there is improvement or not at all. Through this rating, we can easily identify the improvement that is being shown from time to time. And reward. This reward is in the company when you do great job, you have tokens of appreciation or promotions like that. Next, metrics and reporting. Operational goals and metrics meet operational budget. First, the transaction volumes or forecast. It talks about how much or how many are in the transaction. In forecast, it is how you report what is in the transaction. And target average handle time, it simply says that you have that measurement of time. We just say deadline to be done. Cost per seat or hour and transaction, it says that how much you have to meet the cost per seat. Reduce waiting time, % of transaction handled as specific time. Reduce waiting time, it means that what are you going to do to reduce the waiting time? So here are the list: percent of transaction handled at the specific time. In that case, you need to work as fast as you can just to reduce the time for the transaction. Abandon rate. It happened before completing intended action. Average speed of answer. It is how you answer quickly and be accurate so you can reduce the waiting time of your customer. Next, the reduce repeat transaction. The repeat reduce repeat transaction. The list is first time resolution percent. To reduce, it means to reduce repeating transaction. You need to be sure on your resolution. And resolution rate, it is how you solve the problem of your customer by making a high resolution. Next, operational goals and metrics. Increase responsive. Here are the list: turnaround time, quality of service provided through customer contact. So, turnaround time, it is a measurement for how long you complete the task. And quality of service provided through customer contact, it is how you deal with the customer and you have a rapport or empathy to them. And increase lead generation, leads generated per hour if it is an outbound process. It means reaching out the potential clients proactively. And last, for my part in this report, limitation of service level agreement or SLA. Lack of and customer focus. It means that if you not focusing on your clients need, it can lead on negative consequences. Okay, and the next, lack of emphasis on business. If you have lackings about the objective on a company, it means it didn't meet or achieve the mission and vision of the company. And next, overemphasis on efficiency rather than on effectiveness. It can cause a reduce in quality of the service and reduce in dissatisfied customers and damage the organization reputation. And lack of sub-process metrics to ensure consistency. If you have lacking in sub-process, this can lead to inconsistencies in the final output that affect the customer satisfaction.
I'm here to discuss all about the 6 components. Professional development. Professional development. Professional development refers to skills and knowledge attained for both personal development and career advancement. Value. Lifelong learning. A sense of moral obligation to maintain and improve professional competence, enhance career progression, keep abreast of new technology and practice, or to comply with professional regulatory organizations. Approach to personal development. First is the case study method. Second is consultation. Third is coaching. The fourth is communities of practice. And the fifth is lesson study. 6, mentoring. The 7 is reflective supervision. And lastly is technical assistance. I'm here to report all about the 6 components of quality monitoring and analyzing. The 6 components of quality monitoring and analyzing. Quality specification. First is the Total Quality Management or the TQM. Second is the Total Quality Circles or TQC. And ISO 9001. And last is the Six Sigma. Total Quality Management or TQM is a management system or approach to long-term success through customer satisfaction. In a TQM effort, all members of an organization participate in improving processes, products, services, and the culture in which they work through the use of strategy, data, and effective communications to integrate the quality discipline into the culture and activities of the organization. Primary elements of TQM: customer focus, total employee involvement, process-centered, integrated system, strategic and systematic approach, continuous improvement, fact-based decision-making, and communication. So, the customer focus means that the customers ultimately determines the level of quality, no matter what an organization does to foster quality improvement, training employees, integrating quality into the design process, or upgrading computers or software. The customer determines whether the efforts were worthwhile. And total employee involvement. All employees participate in working toward common goals. Total employee commitment can only obtain after fear has been driven from the workplace, when empowerment has occurred, and when management has provided the proper environment. And process-centered. A fundamental part of TQM is focus on process thinking. A process is a series of steps that takes inputs from suppliers, internal or external, and transform them into outputs that are delivered to customer, internal or external. And integrated system. Although an organization may consist of many different functional specialties, often organized into vertical structured departments, and it is the horizontal processes interconnecting these functions that are the focus of TQM. And the strategic and systematic approach. A critical part of the management of quality is the strategic and systematic approach to achieving an organization's vision, mission, and goals. This process called strategic planning or strategic management includes the formulations of a strategic plan that integrates quality as a core component, and also the continuous improvement is a large aspect of TQM is continuous or the continual process improvement drives as an organization to be both analytical and creative in finding ways to become more competitive and more effective of meeting stakeholders' expectation. And next is about the fact-based decision making. Fact-based decision making in order to know how well an organization is performing, data on performance measures are necessary. TQM requires that an organization continually collect and analyze data in order to improve decision-making accuracy, achieve consensus, and predicted based on past history. And the last is communications. during times of organizational change, as well as part of day-to-day operation. Effective communication plays a large part in maintaining morale and in motivating employees at all levels. Communications involve strategies, methods, and timelines. And next, total quality circles. It means having organized Kaizen activities involving everyone in a company, managers and workers, in a totally systematic and integrated effort toward improving performance at every level. It is to lead to increase customer satisfaction through satisfying such corporate cross-functional goals as quality, cost, scheduling, manpower development, and new product development. Next is ISO 9001, or is a very flexible quality standard that is readily applicable to many industries as well as to all sectors of IT BPM industry. Hence its popularity in the Philippines, even with the small skills business. ISO 9001 is part of a series of international standards for quality system. It is primarily focused on quality systems as models for quality assurance in design or development, production, installations, and servicing. And also, the Six Sigma is a set of qualitative and quantitative, or what we call statistical techniques to systematically improve processes by eliminating defects and process variation. It is byproduct of decades of quality improvement methodologies such as statistical process control, or SPS, total quality management, or the TQM, and zero defects. This is the Six Sigma asserts that process variation is an obstacle to reliably delivering high-quality products and services as defined by the customer. Continual focus on reducing process variation is the foundation for business improvement and success, and all business processes or manufacturing, service, administrative, etc. can be measured, analyzed, controlled, and improved. Effective problem solving can only be achieved by data-driven decision making. And last is achieving and maintaining quality improvement requires an organizational commitment that comes from senior management. And that's all.
Productivity monitoring and control. Employee productivity, the amount of outputs usually regulated by requirements and quality, which can be produced by employee per period of time, utilizing the given resources. The more stable and elaborated the process of production, the less X factors or varying inputs it involves, the smoother level of productivity is expected from employees operating it. So, this text is talking about how much work an employee can do in a certain period of time. This amount of work is usually decided by rules and expectations for the quality of the work. The text says that if the process of making something is very clear and doesn't have a lot of things that can change it, called X factors or varying inputs, then the employee working on it will be able to work well and be productive. If the process is confusing or has a lot of things that can change it, then the employee may not work as well. The guidelines of monitoring employee productivity. Number one is measuring, com- comparison, identification, and feedback. Measuring. Measuring is talking about the importance of measuring things in order to manage them. Then the saying is you cannot manage what you cannot measure. It means that if you want to control something, you need to have clear and accurate ways of measuring it. This is important because it allows you to judge whether the results being produced by employees are good or bad. When you measure something correctly, you take into account the fact that there will be variation in the results, and you can recognize when productivity is increasing or decreasing over time. Overall, having a good measuring techniques is essential for effectively managing a task or situation. And the comparison say that in order to this, if you need to have an idea of what good, sufficient, and low levels of productivity are. These levels are defined by performance standards and that you will compare your plan for monitoring productivity against the actual results you get. This means that you need to create your plans based on an objective approach which could be a common standard used by other results from experiments or projections based on data. The identification. The purpose of productivity monitoring, which is to figure out why something might not be productive. There are two possible reasons. For this, number one is the person may not be able their job well, and two is they may not want to do it. To properly address the issue, an investigation needs to be conducted to identify exactly what is causing the lack of productivity in each specific situation. When the reason are known, steps can be taken to fix or lessen the impact of whatever is causing issue. Feedback. It explained that a company cannot expect its employees to produce if they are not properly trained, motivated, managed, or given proper tools. Therefore, it is important to carefully consider all the factors that could be causing poor productivity before giving feedback to employees. If it is determined that the cause of poor productivity is due to employees wasting time or having counterproductive attitudes, then the company can take action such as giving warnings, having personal meetings, taking disciplinary actions, or re-evaluating the situation. It emphasized that addressing low productivity should be done accurately and thoroughly in order to properly improve productivity levels.
The sixth components or the last components is continuous improvement initiative. PS process or more simplified 5S is a structured program to systematically achieve today organization, cleanliness, and standardization in the workplace. 5S was invented in Japan and represent five Japanese words: Sairi, Saiton, Saiso, Saiketsu, and Shitsuke. 5S focuses on putting everything where it belongs and keeping the workplace clean. which make it easier for the people to do their job without wasting time and risking injuries. 5S stand for Sairi, Saiton, Saisu, Saiketsu, and Setsuke. In English word, sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. Each step represents one part of the five process that can improve the overall function of the business. 5S involve assessing everything present in space, removing what is unnecessary, organizing things logically, performing housekeeping tasks, and keeping this cycle going and repeatedly. 5S process benefits. Improve safety, decrease downtime, raise employee morale, identify problems more quickly, develop control through visibility. Improve safety. The methods promotes a clean working environment to reduce and or totally eliminate work-related injuries. It helps ensure workplace safety. Decrease downtime. Decrease downtime. 5S reduce production downtime, prevent equipment failure, and increase the efficiency and productivity of maintenance. Raise employee morale. This practice improves the chances of overdoing dirty, disorganized workplace which can foster lower morale among employees. Identify problems more quickly. It's easier to organize. It's easier to identify the problem if it's the things organized order the production of the workplace. And develop control through visibility. It is quickly show the current status of the workplace or a business. The 5S process, Sairi, Saiton, Saisu, Saiketsu, and Setsuke. Let's take a closer look at each of the part of 5S. Let's start in Sairi or in English, sort. Sairi is tidiness. Throw away all rubbish and unrelated materials. The first step is a sort. It say involves going through all the tools, furniture, materials, equipment in a work area to determine what needs to be present and what can be removed. For example, a tool hasn't been used recently, but someone thinks it might be needed in the future. If the items hasn't been used, it's time to remove it from the workplace. The second step is Saiton, or the second process is Saiton. In English, set in order. Saiton, orderliness. Set everything in its proper place for quick retrieval and storage. Work group can come up with their strategies for sorting through, through the remaining items. Everyone should determine what arrangement are most logically, what arrangement will cost at least amount of waste time to do their job. The third one is saiso or shine or cleanliness. Clean the workplace, everyone should be a janitor. Shine focuses on cleaning up of the work area, which means swiping, mopping, dusting, wiping down surface, putting tools and materials away. Also involved in performing regular maintenance of equipment and machine. Everyone takes a responsibility for cleaning up their workplace daily. The next one is Saikutse, or standardize. Standardize the way of maintaining cleanliness. Standardize assign regular tasks, creating schedules, and post instruction to this activity become a routines. People will probably need reminders about privacy. A small amount of time may need to be set aside daily for 5S tasks. But over time, tasks will become a routine and the 5S organizing and cleaning will become a part of regular work. And the last one is setsuke or discipline or to sustain. practice 5S daily, make it a way of life. This also means commitment. Refers to a process of keeping 5S running smoothly, but also for keeping everyone in organization involved. It is also a long-term program, not just an event or short-time project. 5S becomes a part of organization culture when sustained over time. That's then business will start to notice continuous positive results. In conclusion, the 5S process is about tidiness, orderliness, cleanliness, standardized, and discipline of the business or an employee. 5S also have Kaizen. It is a Japanese management concept for incremental, gradual, continuous, and change improvement. It is a way of life, a philosophy, assuming that every aspect of our life deserves to be constantly improved. Kai means change, Zen means good. To change for the better or continuous improvement. Small changes now can make a big future impact. Kaizen have key elements. There are 5 key elements of Kaizen. The first one is quality, second one is effort, third one involvement of employees, the fourth one willingness to change, and the last one is communication. Quality. Quality ensure maximum quality. The elimination of waste, improvement in efficiency, both equipment and work procedure. Next one is an effort. Effort, employees at all levels of company works together, proactivity to achieve regular, incremental improvement to the manufacturing processes. Involvement of employees. To continuous improvement, you need to empower and support your employees in Kaizen activity by giving an authority and responsibility to make a decision and implement changes within this scope of work. The willingness to change. Based on cooperation and commitment, this stands in contrast approaches to creating continuous improvement. Communication. Look into facts on the matter rather than relaying preconceived ideas of why it might be happen. 5S also have lean. Lean is a process of management framework and methodology derived mostly from the Toyota Production System (TPS). It aims to optimize the flow of speed and of production goods and services by removing the traditional 8 deadly wastes. Lean implementation or transformation, as it commonly called, leverage tools for assessing process flow and delay at every step in the process. The focus is separating value added for non-value added activities and eliminating the root causes and costs of non-valid activities. Lean methods are used Lean method are used to quantify and eliminate the cost of complexity. The framework derived mostly from Toyota Production System aims to process speed production of goods and services by remove 8 deadly wastes. It also transform tools for assessing the flow and the delay of process. Lean also identify identify and separate value, the non-value, and also look for the root cause and cause of non-valued activities. Let's talk about the 8 deadly wastes. 8 deadly wastes is overproduction, transportation, motion, correction, overprocessing, inventory, waiting, unused employee and ideas and talent. Let's discuss first the overproduction. Overproduction, organization worker just blindly keep producing even when those who receive their output either are not ready for it or do not need it. Overproduction may occur due to just-in-case production, unclear customer needs, long setup times, and so on. The solution is to establish a reasonable workflow for the benefit of the customer. Next, the transportation. Too much transportation tends to increase costs, waste time, raise of livelihood of production damage. It waste can be caused and misaligned process flow, poor plant or office layout, and so on. Ocean. Excess movement causes by the employees or machine that does not add value to the product, services, or and process. It caused by the poor process design and controls lack of standards, workstation, congestion, and so on. Next, the correction. Correction of all the defects are mistakes that required additional time, resource, and money to fix. Over processing, multiple versions of the same task are created, required as a result of long, weighted, poorly designed processes that cause increase your cost, time, and resources. Inventory occurs when there is a supply in excess of real customer demands. Mas- Masking real production. Causes include poor monitoring system, misunderstood customer needs, and so on. For the seven is waiting. Waiting occurs when work has to stop for reasons that include the next person in line being overwhelmed, something breaking down, waiting for approval, or waiting for materials. Unused employees' ideas and talents. Failing to utilize talents is on the rise in business today. Not using and underusing people talents, skills, and knowledge can have detrimental or bad effect to an organization. IT BPM success largely depends on how effectiveness an organization is in managing its operation. IT BPM success if you doing good all the 5S processes that can be have a big impact to your business. Six components are performance management, metrics and reporting, professional development, quality monitoring and analyzing, production monitoring and control, continuous improvement initiative. For the summary, let's try to answer this. P and M, performance management. Q, M, and A, quality monitoring and analyzing. M and R is metrics and reporting. P, M, and C is productivity monitoring and control. P, D is professional development. C, I is continuous improvement initiative.
So I'm here to report the introduction of business process mapping. Business process mapping and notation. Standard notation readily understandable by all business stakeholders. Crafted by business analysts, reviewed by business managers and performers who will manage and execute the processes. Implemented by technical developers. Business Process Modeling Notation or BPMN, also called Business Process Model and Notation, is an open standard to diagram a business process. It is like a flowchart and uses standardized graphics to represent the participants' choices and flow of the process. Event, start, immediate, and end effects. So, here at the event, this is usually
something that is happens. Next is the activity, task, sub-process. The activity for us to understand this is usually lead in action verb, describe the work done, or also that is done. That is something done. Next is the gateway, forking or decision or something or merging of paths. Gateway represent points where the process flow can split into multiple paths based on certain conditions or converge into one path after different alternative has been executed. Next is the flow, sequence flow. The flow line displays the procedure's direction. Next is the data, input data and output data. Next is the group of tasks used to visually designate a group of tasks. Next is the annotation. Comments indicate added information about the action with a comment or annotation. Next is the pool or lane. Scope of the role of a performer, hands-offs to other performers. Units are shown as arrows going out of the lanes. So if there is a little confused by the concept of process mapping and notation, in the next slides we will discuss each on it and give the example for us to understand it better. So let's go to the event. Event represents starts, immediate, or end events, something that is happened. So here's some examples. Month and date is an event that can start a month and month-end reporting process. Next is the email with an invoice attachment requesting payment can start the account payable process. Next is the student grades arriving at the registrar office is an end event to semester's teaching process.
Classing mapping and notation basic shape activity. Represent task something that is done leads with an action word describe the work done in the task as a clear action instruction. So this is the example. Extract account balance in SAP is an activity that will be performed at the start of month end. Check for duplicate invoice is a task done at the first stage of the accounts payable process. Explain syllabus is a task performed by the teacher at the start of the semester. In summary, an activity in this context is a way to break down and describe individual tasks within a process or project using clear and actionable language to ensure that everyone involved understands what needs to be done. Classing mapping and notation basic shape decision. Represent forking or merging of paths, may be exclusive forking and or depending on the answer to the question indicated by the label, an X can be placed inside the shape diamond. To denote a forking of paths, may be parallel flow and marked by a positive sign inside the shape diamond, denoting concurrent activities. So basically, the decision shape in process mapping is a visual representation of decision point in a process flow chart where choices and their consequence are illustrated. It helps clarify how a process can diverge or converge based on decision made along the way. Decision represent forking or merging of paths. So this is the example. Exclusive is invoice a duplicate? If yes, reject. If no, create accounts payable entry. Parallel, after billing template is received, account
Account receivable entry is created in service center and accounts payable entry is created in the onshore unit. In conclusion, the passage outlines a process that involves making an exclusive decision about whether an invoice is a duplicate or not. If it's not a duplicate, the process continues to a decision point where further decision can be made. Additionally, the process includes parallel activities where both accounts receivable entry and account payable entry are created concurrently after receiving a billing template. These elements are commonly used in process mapping to visually represent and communicate the flow, a process, and its decision points. Lastly, the arrow symbol, which is flow, represent sequence flow, connects the task, shows, indicates the flow direction. So this is the example. Check for duplicate invoice is followed by generate account payable entry. By that, the flow shape in process mapping is a fundamental element used to visually represent the order and direction of tasks or activities within a process. It helps stakeholders understand the logical flow of work and the dependencies between different steps in the process.
I'm reporting the business process mapping and notation. Data represent input data, output data. As an input can be via submitted template or data in a storage repository. As an output can be a report to be sent to recipient, can be a filled up template to be used by the next process. This is the example of data. Flash of interim profit and loss or P&L report. Email notice to a recipient. Generate physical invoice. Next is group of tasks. Represent a group of tasks. It is literally a visual indicator that the included tasks are within a logical group. Example, pay supplier can be included. Generate balance sheet entries, credit cash, debit account payable, issue check payment request, pay supplier, get official receipt. Dito sa group of tasks is pwede mo siyang gawan ng journal entries or T account para dun mo ma-process yung business ng isang business owner. Then next is annotation. Represent comments, a repository for explanatory comments for any of shapes, process, flow, task. Example, check payment requests are proceed or are processed only every Thursday. Same lang ito dun sa onshore process. So dito is sa annotation, check mo lang yung comment or i-check mo yung payment dun sa pag-process mo ng payment every Thursday, same as onshore process. So for our lane, represent scope of the role of a performer, hands off to other performers. Units are shown as rows going out of the lanes. Activities performed by the individual or role or team will be noted inside the lane. Example, accountant check for duplicate invoice and request check payment. These two activities are within the account lane. Approval by company head is done by a different person, hence in a different swim lane, the company head's lane. So dito para sa full or lane naman, kailangan i-check ng accountant yung duplicate invoice and yung request check payment. Then need pa to improve, need pa ng approval ng company. para dun sa person na nag ano ng business. So as you can see here, he is the process mapping, customer support. So nandito yung mga process kung paano mo maano yung example, questions comes from customer received by first level support. Okay, then makikita nyo naman po dito. And then sa second, ito naman yung customer support na nag-expand. So makikita nyo dito sa start kung paano yung ito, from start, get problem description, gateway, can handle it myself. Okay, then makikita nyo dito yung mga kung paano mag-process dito sa customer support expanded. So nandito na rin siya. So describe the actions within the swim lanes of each performer, facilitates business user review. So makikita nyo nandito na yung pag-process and kung paano mag-end yung business. Okay, thank you and have a good day.